Starting on Sunday in Paris, on the clay at Roland Garros, it's the 2024 French Open. A full-blown breakdown and preview of everything you need to know for the second Grand Slam in this calendar year in the world of tennis over these next two straight segments, live right here on this Friday on the early line. But it's not really the insight from myself or Donnie Rightside. It's Pam Maldonado joining us live right here on this Friday to get you set for the 2024 French Open. And Pam, we say thank you so much for taking the time to join us here on this Friday.
Hey, if anybody is willing to listen about tennis, I am willing to talk because I can go on for hours. It's one of my favorite tournaments of the year. Actually, that's not true. It's the Australian Open. But this year, it's one of my favorite tournaments just because of everything that's surrounding it. All the player injuries, players that are coming back, Rafael Nadal in his retirement year, Djokovic maybe kind of all up and down. So there's so many storylines, which makes this tournament great.
So many storylines to follow in Paris. And Pam, you hit the nail on the head. One of the main narratives heading into the 2024 French Open. Could this be the last for Rafa? Maybe his last tournament ever at a place that he has been otherworldly and dominant. 18 appearances in his career at Roland Garros. He has won the French Open 14 times, the most Grand Slam titles by a single player at any of the four Grand Slams. But it is the retirement tour. His game as of late has been a little bit shaky. What does success look like for Rafael Nadal at the 2024 French Open?
I think that is left for interpretation. Everybody who I have not seen on social media, I haven't seen on other news sources, anybody giving Nadal a shot to even get through the first round of a tournament that he owns. Now, me, myself, I've been watching him since 2005. I think it's under my belief that he's not just showing up to win a couple of matches. If Rafa Nadal is playing the French Open, it's because he wants to win the whole damn thing. So in my perspective, he's going to lay it out on the table. Success for him. A deep run? Sure. He wants a 15th title.
If we're taking a look at this tournament, Pam, and explain this sometimes because we look at these different surfaces they play on. Hard court, clay, grass. Why has Rafael Nadal been so good on the clay court, and what gives him those advantages?
Oh, it's purely because of the surface. It is a slow clay court, and because of the way his style of game is, a super heavy topspin, the heaviest topspin player on tour, it's just perfectly suited for his game. It's not only that topspin that he has, but it's complemented with a penetrating backhand. And you want to talk about like the mental mindset that is required in a best of five tournament. There's no other player out there who has the bull-like mentality than Rafa Nadal. He's even said it himself. If I lose tactically, okay, but you will never see me lose mentally. That is not okay. When you have somebody who has that type of mindset going into not even just a major tournament, how he plays a 5-set major is the exact same way he plays a 250 best of 3 event. It doesn't matter to him. He's out there he wants to win. He is a competitor at heart. And because of that, it's just like a dominating force. It's a collective unit of things. And when clay, especially at Roland Garros, is a slower surface, it's about endurance. It's about that mental mindset. If you do go a full 5 sets, there's so many aspects that come into it, but more so, it's definitely that heavy topspin that he has, and it excels at the most.
So, Pam, you mentioned it already. A marquee matchup in round number 1 with the draw coming out earlier this week. Rafa will be an underdog in his first match at Roland Garros against Alexander Zverev, who has the 4th best price to win the men's title at the 2024 French Open. And Zverev coming off a victory in Rome at that Masters 1000 event. Although Rafa is the underdog, how competitive do you expect that opening round match against Zverev to be?
I had to really think about this as far as me being the bettor and me being the fan. How am I going to relay information to my audience when it comes to this wager? Because one, it was totally unexpected by everybody, threw us all off guard, that it is this is something that you would see in a semifinal or a final of a major, not in the first round. So because of that, I really having to dial back my fandom and look at this as objectively as I could. And I still want to go with Rafa Nadal not only has a chance to cover the game spread, cover a set spread, but to come out as the outright underdog in this matchup. The last time that these two players faced, Zverev and Nadal, was back in the 2022 French Open. Nadal, in his career, has only had 3 losses at Roland Garros. He's 18-0 in the first round. Now, this is an entirely different situation, but his earliest exit was in the round of 16 against Robin Soderling. The reason why he left so early was there's a lot going on in that year. His parents were getting divorced. He didn't have the mindset. And the following year, he whooped them in straight sets to be like, okay, you know what? That was a mistake. This is no longer going to happen. Nadal is combat ready. He's rested. He has the mentality of a bull. And he's not just, like I mentioned, he's not just showing up to win a couple of matches. He's not here to show face. He is showing up to win all of it. And it starts with Nadal. His game style still suits. It doesn't matter if he is 37 years old or 27. His body may not be the same, but his game tactics, his ability is still there. He's coming into this rested. This is the best shot. Getting him in the first round was what he could have best asked for. If this was Zverev in the 4th round quarterfinal, I would have some hesitation. But his best opportunity to win as an underdog is in the first round.
It's pretty crazy to see him plus 290 in round number 1. You'd be looking at a plus 290 typically to win a major championship here. But let's take a look at also the men's singles odds to win it all. Alcaraz at a plus 250 price, Djokovic at a plus 270, followed by Sinner, Zverev, and Tsitsipas. Is there a favorite that you like in this tournament, Pam? And also, is there a dog price that you like where somebody like, you know what? I'm not paying attention to this person. Maybe we should be.
So Novak Djokovic would be my straightforward bet to win. If there's only one wager to make, it's going to be on Djokovic. He's won 7 of his last 11 slams, 4 of his last 6, and 2 of his last 4 French Opens. The 2 losses that he had was against Nadal. This year, 2024, has been really rough. No titles, no top 10 wins, and a couple of bad losses. But what I'm seeing from him right now in Geneva is that he is more so looking. He's fired all of his team. He hasn't won anything, but he's looking for that confidence. And you see it if you're watching his Geneva matches at 6 a.m. He has found it. And you're looking for situational spots. He's getting comfortable with those. He'd be my pick to win.
More with Pam up next. We continue our 2024 French Open preview live right here on this Friday on the early line on SportsGrid. Action at the second Grand Slam of this calendar year in tennis gets underway on Sunday over in Paris. Pam Maldonado joins us for a second consecutive segment. Pam, we looked at the men's draw, now to the women's title race in Paris at Roland Garros. And there is already an odds-on favorite before the tournament has even begun. Iga Swiatek, minus 160, the heavy odds-on favorite to win the women's title at the 2024 French Open. You can see the minus money price in the large gap in front of everybody else. Aryna Sabalenka, Coco Gauff, everybody in there with less than a 10-1 price. Pam, you see the odds. How would you describe how far ahead Iga Swiatek is versus the rest of the field?
It is Świątek and the rest of the field. Now, you can talk about Aryna Sabalenka catching up to her and Rybakina catching up to her. Sure, maybe on hard court surfaces, but this is the French Open, and slow clay is Świątek's wheelhouse. Exactly as I was mentioning with Nadal, a heavy topspin forehand complemented with a flat, disastrous, like for your opponent, backhand. It is just so penetrating and so difficult to defend. That's just Świątek on offense. You're talking about these weapons because of the slow surface, because of the temperatures and the environment that is of Roland Garros. It even makes her weapons that much more potent. It is her against the rest of the field, and that's it. That's all. Świątek, as low as minus 130. You can find that number, shop around, and as high as 165. That's up to you if you want to take that risk. But yeah, I wouldn't blame anybody for wanting to take that high price as such a heavy favorite in a major tournament.
If we take a look at Świątek being that heavy of a favorite, that means there's some really good price points here, Pam, behind the scenes that you might be able to find. If there was one person that can take it the distance here, maybe upset her, who would that be in this tournament?
If it would not come until the final, potentially facing Aryna Sabalenka, who she's already faced a couple of times this season. But the one time that she did even overpower her, looked competitive, was in Madrid. But Madrid is not the same surface than that of Roland Garros. Madrid has the altitude, first off, to think about. And then also it is clay court, but it is a faster clay court. So it really heavily favors those with a lot of power, a lot of force, and big heavy serves like Sabalenka. But as mentioned, this is Roland Garros. This is different. This is a very slow clay. So I actually don't expect that Świątek is going to have a lot of problems. If there was to come into play where maybe she can drop a set, maybe the quarterfinals against the American and Danielle Collins. But I think she has a semifinal potential matchup against Coco Gauff and a potential final matchup against Sabalenka. There's a really good chance here that Świątek could go on to win this tournament and do so without dropping a set, which you can find at least 4-1 odds.
Wow.
Not a bad price, honestly, for somebody that is already the odds-on favorite entering the tournament before we get underway in Paris. It was Świątek versus Sabalenka in both of the previous Masters events on clay in Rome and Madrid as well. Świątek getting the better of Aryna Sabalenka in both of those finals. You mentioned Coco Gauff. She has the best price of any American, man or woman, to win over in Paris at the 2024 French Open. Pam, what do you think the outlook is for the Americans, either in the men's or women's draw?
I think when you're looking at the WTA side, Danielle Collins is the one that catches my interest more so than Coco Gauff. She's highly aggressive, fearless playing style. She's been described as a ferocious player, and you can see that. Just the simple eye test tells you that, hey, she has nothing to lose attitude. And it's because of that attitude, she is in her retirement year at 30 years old, that she kind of has just like this free flowing aura around her of like, you know what, I'm here to have fun. And if I win, great. And guess what? She is winning. She's won 19 of her last 21 matches, with her 2 losses being against Sabalenka. So she has a really good opportunity here to run deep into the quarterfinal, of which that should be where it comes to an end when she faces Świątek. But power doesn't beat Świątek on clay, which is why I think is where it ends. Inconsistent power is going to have a lot of unforced errors. And could she win a set? I think that's what I would be looking at for Collins to potentially win a set against Świątek. But to win the match, I don't see that happening. But at least Collins has my interest. Now on the men's side, it's got to be with Taylor Fritz. He is the one player that's been on the American side that he did well in Munich. He made the final, Madrid semifinal, the Rome quarterfinal. He's had a really good clay season, which is why he's been dubbed the nickname Clay Lore Fritz. He's had back-to-back major quarterfinals, but he's never passed the third round at Roland Garros.
Man, we appreciate it, but we got to get the break. Thank you so much.